Today, we're diving into the gaming performance of the RTX 4080 Super. Emphasis: this benchmark covers 15 popular games, all tested at Ultra and Max settings, giving us a thorough look at how this card handles the latest titles. We've tested across 6 CPU generations to provide a complete performance profile, with resolutions ranging from 4K down to 1080p. Our system setup includes a powerful 32GB memory to ensure nothing bottlenecks the results. Let's see how the RTX 4080 Super truly unleashes gaming potential. Here, we're looking at a comparison across several CPU generations, focusing on multiple key specifications. At the bottom of the chart, we have the i7-920 from the Bloomfield platform, which is the oldest emphasis and serves as a clear architectural baseline. It features 4 cores and 8 threads, built on a 45nm process with a 130W TDP, and uses the LGA 1366 socket. Moving up, you can see how CPU designs evolve through Haswell E, Coffee Lake, Comet Lake, Cascade Lake X, and into the latest Raptor Lake generation represented by the i7-13700KF. Notice the increase in cores and threads, reaching up to 16 cores and 24 threads. Clock speeds and turbo capabilities have also improved significantly, with modern chips reaching speeds above 5 GHz. Cache sizes have grown as well, reflecting advances in performance optimization. Similarly, fabrication processes have shrunk from 45 nanometers down to as low as 10 nanometers, enhancing efficiency. Power consumption varies too, but despite higher core counts, newer designs often maintain or reduce TDP, thanks to manufacturing improvements. Overall, this slide highlights how CPU architectures have progressed in core counts, clock speeds, cache, and process technology over several generations, setting the context for comparing the i7-920 to more recent processors. Here, we're looking at the architecture profile, which is essentially the hardware driving the frame rate. At the heart of this is the Ada Lovelace GPU architecture, featuring emphasis 3rd-generation RT cores and 4th-generation Tensor cores. These advancements significantly boost performance in ray tracing and AI tasks. The core engine includes an impressive 10,240 CUDA cores, designed specifically to handle high-throughput rasterization, ray tracing, and AI workloads efficiently. On the memory side, it's equipped with 16 GB of GDDR6X memory, connected through a 256-bit interface, and the total graphics power draws up to 320 watts, ensuring robust performance for demanding applications. Here's how we conducted our testing. We evaluated performance using a comprehensive game suite consisting of emphasis 15 titles released between 2017 and 2023, all tested at Ultra or Max settings to push the hardware to its limits. For the hardware, we focused on the RTX 4080 Super Velocity graphics card, pairing it with 6 different CPU generations ranging from the latest i7-13700KF all the way back to the i7-920. We ran tests at both 4K and 1920 resolution settings, utilizing 32 GB of system memory. Our benchmarking included recorded runs and fixed gameplay segments to ensure consistent and accurate comparisons across the board. On this slide, we have a test suite featuring emphasis 15 games spanning 6 different CPU generations, released between 2017 and 2023. Each game is run at Ultra or Max settings to ensure we're evaluating performance under the most demanding conditions. Notable titles include Destiny 2 from 2017, Red Dead Redemption 2 from 2018, and Cyberpunk 2077 from 2020. More recent games like Battlefield 2042 and Far Cry 6 from 2021, as well as RoboCop and Total War Pharaoh from 2023, are also included. This comprehensive range allows us to thoroughly assess how hardware performs across a variety of popular and graphically intensive games over time. Here, we're looking at average frames per second performance for the RTX 4080 Super Velocity, paired with an i7-13700KF CPU, running games at 4K resolution with Ultra or Max settings. Emphasis: the standout point is the consistently high frame rates across a diverse set of titles, showcasing unmatched performance. For instance, Apex Legends hits an impressive 241 FPS, while demanding games like Cyberpunk 2077 still maintain a solid 72 FPS. Other popular games like Hitman 3 and Vermintide 2 also deliver well over 160 FPS, ensuring smooth gameplay. This data clearly demonstrates the card's strength in handling even the most challenging graphics loads at 4K. Here we have benchmark results showcasing maximum performance and effortless smoothness across 15 popular games. With an i7-13700KF processor paired with an RTX 4080 Super Velocity and 32 GB of DDR5-6200 RAM, the system achieves an impressive average of, emphasis, 204.6 frames per second. Each game was tested at Ultra or Max settings at a resolution of 1920 by 1080, ensuring top-tier visual quality without sacrificing performance. This highlights just how powerful this setup is for delivering smooth, high frame rate gameplay across a broad range of demanding titles. Break. Whether it's Apex, Cyberpunk, or Rainbow Six Extraction, you can expect a consistently excellent experience. Here we see the average frames per second across 15 games running at a fixed 4K resolution on Ultra settings. What stands out is that the difference in performance between various CPUs is relatively small, with only an 11.9 FPS spread. This clearly shows that at 4K, the GPU, in this case the RTX 4080 Super, is the main bottleneck, not the CPU. While having more CPU headroom can help improve performance slightly, the GPU remains the constant limiting factor in gaming at this resolution. For example, newer CPUs like the i7-13700KF from 2022 deliver higher FPS, but the gains are not as significant as you might expect, emphasizing the dominant role of the graphics card here. Emphasis: this highlights why upgrading your GPU tends to have a bigger impact on gaming performance at high resolutions than upgrading your CPU. Break. So, if you're gaming at 4K, investing in a powerful GPU is crucial, while CPU upgrades offer more marginal benefits. Here we see the CPU scaling results for gaming at 1080p resolution with Ultra or Max settings on an RTX 4080 Super. The key metric here is the average frames per second across 15 different games. Notice that the i7-13700KF delivers the highest performance with an impressive, emphasis, 204.6 FPS, clearly standing out as the best performer. Following that, the i7-10700KF achieves 168.4 FPS, while the i9-10920X and i7-8700K are in the 160s and upper 150s range. On the lower end, the older i7-980X and i7-920 lag behind significantly, showing that newer CPU architectures bring substantial improvements in gaming performance. This chart really emphasizes how critical CPU choice is for maximizing frame rates in high settings at 1080p. Here, we're comparing memory scaling on the same GPU model, specifically the RTX 4080 Super, running at Ultra settings. The focus is on how different memory speeds, DDR5-6200 versus DDR3-1244, impact gaming performance. At 4K resolution, you can see significant FPS gains across popular games. For instance, Apex Legends jumps from 183 to 241 FPS, which is a 32% increase. Cyberpunk 2077 shows a remarkable 130% boost, going from 32 to 72 FPS. Total War. Pharaoh and Vermintide 2 also see impressive improvements, with gains of 35% and 71% respectively. Moving down to 1080p resolution, the performance gains are even more pronounced in some cases. Apex Legends improves by 29%. Cyberpunk 2077 nearly doubles with a 138% jump, and Total War. Pharaoh more than triples its frame rate with a 179% increase. Vermintide 2 sees a 132% rise. Emphasis. This clearly shows that the memory bandwidth and speed provide more headroom, unlocking the full potential of the GPU. So, although the graphics card remains the same, the platform's memory capabilities fundamentally determine how much of its power actually reaches your screen. Here we see the performance of several games running on an RTX 4080 Super, paired with an i7-920 processor at 3.8 GHz. Even though the i7-920 is an older CPU, it still manages to run these games, but it clearly cannot fully keep up with a powerful GPU. This results in a noticeable bottleneck, especially at higher resolutions. At 4K resolution with ultra settings, frame rates vary quite a bit. For example, Apex Legends runs around 61 frames per second, while Hitman 3 can push over 105 frames. But when we drop down to 1920 by 1080, the frame rates jump significantly, with Apex Legends hitting 164 frames per second and Hitman 3 reaching 109. This illustrates how much the CPU limits the system's overall gaming performance, as the GPU is clearly capable of much more when not held back by the legacy processor. The takeaway here is that while the i7-920 still works, upgrading the CPU is critical to fully unlock the RTX 4080 Super's potential and avoid this unmistakable bottleneck. Here we have a comparison of average frame rates in several modern games running at 1920 by 1080 resolution on Ultra or Max settings. The key takeaway is the remarkable performance of the 2008 i7-920 processor, clocked here at 3.8 GHz. Despite its age, it still manages to deliver playable frame rates in 2026, with most games reaching around or above the target 60 frames per second. Take Apex Legends, for example. The i7-920 achieves 99 FPS, which is impressive given its age. However, when you compare this to modern CPUs like the i7-13700KF, Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, and Ryzen 5 7600, you can see the huge performance gap between generations. These newer processors deliver frame rates 2 to 3 times higher, sometimes even more, hitting upwards of 240 or even 300 FPS in some cases. This illustrates not only how far processor technology has come, but also how much life is still left in older hardware when playing less demanding games or running at common settings. The gap is real, but so is the viability of the i7-920 for still delivering a decent gaming experience today. It's a great example of longevity in PC hardware. Here are the 3 key findings from our 15-game benchmark of the RTX 4080 Super. Emphasis first at 4K resolution. The GPU is the limiting factor, delivering an impressive 108 FPS average across all 15 games at ultra settings. Second, CPU performance plays a significant role, especially at 1920 resolution, where the newest platform boosts frame rates up to 205 FPS. Finally, memory bandwidth is crucial. Using modern DDR5 memory really helps unlock the full potential of the RTX 4080 Super.